Today on Spotlight, we'll be going to the Wynne Home, where we'll be talking to Linda Pease and viewing an award ceremony. Stay tuned.
We drove back in rain the whole way.
There's another side. I'm fine. How are you? Hi. You're going from meeting to meeting to tour?
Meeting to meeting, that's right.
Hello, Mike.
So I'm here with Miss Linda Pease at the Wynne Arts Center, or the Wynne Home. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Great. I think I want to start by asking you the history of the Wynne Home before it was an arts center.
It's a home that was built in 1883, and it was built by Gustavus Wynne for his bride, Samuela Gibbs Wynne. And after that, they lived in the house, then their children lived in the house, and then the third generation lived in the house. And it was that third generation who then gave the house to the city of Huntsville.
Wow, interesting. Now, this is a Gibbs family, not the same family that gave the grant of land to the to make the Gibbs Ranch for Sam Houston for the Ag Department, is it?
Yes.
It is. Okay, so they were, I guess, they're longtime residents of Huntsville?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Now, tell me a little bit about the Arts Center. I want to know how long it's been around for and what kind of things you offer to the community.
About 10 years ago, Samuela Palmer gave the house to the city, and it was with the understanding that it would be used for cultural activities and preservation projects and activities, and that also offices could be here for those who administer the house, and there could be meetings and banquets and parties and that kind of thing here for our community events. So we do programming here. There's our art galleries. We're sitting in the art gallery here. That is the main gallery, which is named after Lela Mae Brown Wynne by Samuela Wynne Palmer, who gave the house. That was her mother, and she wanted it to be in her honor. And we change exhibits here several times a year. We have an exhibit right now from Adelina Moya, who is from Mexico. And she's living temporarily in Texas, so we were able to have her art here. And then we have field trips for our school children, so we often have children from the Huntsville schools or from Willis or other surrounding private schools to come in, and we plan activities for them. So we have various stations where they can do various kinds of art and see the gallery and hear stories and that sort of thing. And then other people take tours, and there are workshops for adults and classes of all kinds in the ceramic studio in the back and in fine art painting upstairs, watercolor. Then we have an auxiliary called Friends of the Wynne, and they operate a sales gallery.
Great. Now, does it cost anything for the community to be involved with these kind of things, or is it free for Huntsville residents?
The admission to the house is free. And sometimes there are benefits for the Wynne Home. For example, tomorrow night, the Belle Chazon will sing, and they'll have a basket out, and admission to their concert is free, but they ask people to give a donation to the Wynne Home Arts Center. We always have donation boxes because it's good to have help with operating the house. And so that's here for people who want to contribute. And classes do cost money to pay the teachers and also to pay for supplies, but they are relatively low cost for the classes.
Okay, great. And what kind of, I want to say artist, but I don't mean that in the, in the sense of necessarily an artist that draws or paints, but an artist as in a musician or an artist as a sculptor. What kind of artists have you had come to the home and actually present things here?
Well, the Huntsville Arts Commission is an appointed commission by the city, and their view of the arts is that it's very broad, and it certainly encompasses performing artists as well as visual artists. So musicians and dramatists and dancers all have been here. So we'll have this musical performance tomorrow night, for example, and sometimes we've had a ballerina come, especially for the school children, and she's done demonstrations in the gallery of ballet, and it's really fun to see someone close up who's got the costume on and the makeup for the stage, and the children and adults enjoy that. And then we've had dramatic readings here. We have had writers. Creative writing class from the university has met here and will again next spring. And then when they meet here, they also provide programming. So they'll have a reading of their own work and then a reading of some professional writers also to come in. So we've had a wide range and intend to continue to do that kind of programming for the community.
Wow, interesting. Well, I'm guessing the community really appreciates it because y'all were awarded an award tonight. And I just want to know how that came about. Why today and why not earlier, since y'all been around for a while?
Well, we've been in the house for 3 years, and the Historical Commission is the one who decided to give the award. And they give awards to people who have met the criteria for preservation in some category. And I don't know what else to say about it, except that they've given, over the years, 16 awards prior to that, and they've been in existence many years. So I don't think they give awards every year. But in any case, we're very happy to have it now. We feel like we haven't been open that very long. We've been open barely 3 years. We opened in September of 2006.
Oh, okay. Okay, alrighty. Thank you for that clarification. So the art gallery that we're in right now, you have one artist that you present their work in this gallery for a week, for a month?
Typically, it's one artist, and typically it would be for about 3 months. So there is a great deal of effort that goes into putting up the exhibit, of gathering it together and doing gallery guides and invitations and insurance and agreements and so forth. So that it only changes in the main gallery a few times a year. This year we did have 5 exhibitions. And sometimes they are of groups. For example, next year we'll have an area artist show, and that will be a call out for art to the community. And then people can submit, and it will be juried, and then the ones who are selected will have their art hung in here. And so sometimes it's more than one person, but it more typically is the work of one outstanding artist.
Okay, a local artist in Huntsville, or can it be anywhere in the United States?
Not necessarily. It could be anywhere. We had Frank Jones, who was a prisoner here, but whose work is shown all over the world, really. He's probably Texas' most famous of self-taught artists. And we had his show. And then Charles Pebworth, who now resides in Fayetteville, Arkansas, but once taught at Sam Houston, we had his show. The one this past summer was Richard Haas, who did the murals for downtown, but he lives in New York City, and so we made arrangements with him, and the work was shipped down. So it can be anywhere where we can really make the arrangements and afford to have the process carried through.
Great. And what other types of art do you have here in the home besides the paintings and things of that sort?
We have some small pieces of sculpture, and I mentioned Charles Pebworth, but he does sculpture that's really hangs on the wall, but it is three-dimensional, and so we have some of those pieces. The pieces that we have are almost all loaned because we don't purchase art typically. We have a few pieces that we own because someone has given them to us, but most of the time pieces are loaned. And we have two-dimensional art of self-taught art upstairs in the gallery, and of course we have children's art up there. So there are clowns on the wall. You all might want to see those before you leave. And then we do have some artifacts, things that belong to the family that are art in themselves, ambrotypes and daguerreotypes, photographs of the Wynne family going back for generations, and other pieces that have been important to their family. For example, this fireback was a piece that was sold in their estate sale this spring, and the auxiliary group purchased it for the Wynne home.
Wow, interesting. And how long have you been here at the Wynne home? Since it was opened 3 years ago?
I have been, but I have actually worked for the city for more than 30 years. So I've been with the city for a very long time. And I was working with the city when the Wynne family gave the home to the city of Huntsville. And I was asked to be the staff leader for the project. And the Arts Commission was asked to take on the process of pulling the plans together, getting community input, and seeing the process through. So we worked on that from 1999 until, well, people still work on it, but until we entered the house in 2006.
Okay. And what made you decide to be a part of this arts center? I mean, have you always been interested in the arts?
Do you know, I always have, but I'm not an artist myself. I just enjoy helping artists to be able to do their work, and I enjoy helping people to be able to have access to and enjoy arts. I grew up in a small town, and I think it was just absolutely delightful to me when I would see performances or see art, because I don't think I had the opportunity very often. And so it was just like a life-changing experience, really, to see professional artists doing their work. And I enjoyed it in that way, although I'm trained to be a teacher and I taught school for a number of years. Eventually, I just found my way to this through just a long story of becoming involved with the city and working with outreach programming. And so eventually this came about, and it was just something I've enjoyed and absolutely love to be here.
Wonderful. Now, where do you see the Wynne Home going the next few years, or even the rest of its existence? What do you hope to give the community?
Well, we have a level of programming that's just lovely as it is, but we could ramp up and have even more programming going on here with resources, with additional resources. So we hope that at some point that will happen, so that there could be even more opportunities than we're able now to provide for young people, especially to have access to both create art and to enjoy the creations of others in both performing and visual arts. And it should always be an anchor and a welcoming spot to visitors who come to Huntsville, and a place to welcome people and to enjoy the culture that we have here at the city. I think tonight was an example. It's fun. People enjoy getting together, and this is a good meeting place for people to do that. And so we trust that it goes on for generations to come. It was intended in that way to be a place for the arts.
Great. Do you guys have a lot of visitors that come in here on a daily basis?
We do, but I think that we don't have an extensive advertising and marketing set up now, and so it could be possible that there will be more. When people do come in, they think it's pretty extraordinary house for this area, and usually have not been aware that it's here, and so that's good. We often have people who are traveling through who just stop by because they see it just by the side of the road, or because they've been looking on their laptop computers and see that it's here, and so they stop in. But we're hoping that aspect of the visitation grows, and we'll have more people who routinely drop by.
Great. And I just wanted to thank you for letting me come and do this, and we had a great time here, lots of beautiful pieces of art, and I just appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm glad you came, and I'm glad this worked out to be the night that you came.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You want to go for the award.
I will call this ceremony to order. My name is Dana Nicolay. I'm the current chair of the Huntsville Arts Commission, and I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you all to this evening's Historic Preservation Awards ceremony. As Mac Woodward pointed out to us today in Rotary, as residents of Huntsville, the recognition of history around us is kind of a constant part of our way of life. And the award that will be presented today represents a continuation of that theme in the life of our community. The award wouldn't be possible without the ongoing work of many people. Of course, Samuela Wynne Palmer, if she had not given the house, it certainly couldn't have become what it has become to our community. Other important contributors were the Meadows Foundation with a major matching grant, the Houston Endowment, the Troll Foundation, and the Powell Foundation. Working on the early renovation plans were Bill Nash as the chair of the Structural Committee, and Isla Gaines as the chair of the Arts Commission at the time, who were really active in bringing the home to the state that we find it now. I also want to mention the long-time commitment and service that Linda Pease offers to our community over a long period of time, and not only this project, but in the cultural life of the community broadly. So she's done a wonderful thing. So with that introduction, welcome, and I will introduce Beverly Hanson,
Yes.
Secretary of the Huntsville Historical Commission. Sorry.
Yes, please join me in the pledge to the American and Texas flags. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Today is an important day in Huntsville, and this award is long overdue for this structure. In late 1987, the Preservation Committee of the Historical Commission voted to award certificates of appreciation to citizens, store owners, churches, and organizations that have preserved structures that are historically and architecturally important to our community, and to encourage preservation of structures and sites. Since that time, we have presented 16 of these. Today is the 17th. Structures must have been restored to standards set by the Texas Historical Commission, and that relate to the interior of the structure. The Wynne Home, however, meets these and other criteria, as most, if not all, of this home's original doors, windows, later additions were all preserved in the restoration. So we were more than pleased to present this award. The Commission is very careful with presenting these awards to structures and buildings and churches in the community. The building must at least be 50 years old. It must relate to the history of Huntsville and Walker County. And primarily, it is a building that has been adaptively reused and not just a pretty face. So today, on behalf of the Historical Commission, and we have some of the members of our Preservation Committee here today. I'll ask those members to stand that are on our Preservation Committee. We have several others that are on our Preservation Committee. And I will call on Ms. Pease, Mayor Turner, who will present the certificate. And Dana Nicholas, I believe he is our representative also. Dana? All right. Walker County Historical Commission Preservation Award awarded to the City of Huntsville for the magnificent restoration and adaptive reuse of the 1883 original Queen Anne style Gibbs Wynne house to the Wynne Home Arts Center.
Thank you very much. You know, this is one of the honors of being mayor, is that you get to accept awards that you maybe not necessarily deserve very much credit for, but I still do my part for accepting on behalf of the city. Another very enjoyable part of being mayor is to share an occasion such as this that are a real fabric of our community. One of the things that I frequently say that I love about our community is the depth, and this certainly goes to that. I'd like to share with you Proclamation 2010-15. Whereas the City of Huntsville works to promote cultural preservation with and among local organizations, artists, museums, and educational entities. And whereas the Walker County Historical Commission sees fit to bestow awards for preserving a structure, site, or physical object that relates to Walker County or the state of Texas. And whereas the completed preservation project must meet standards to qualify for such an award in one of the more following categories: preservation, rehabilitation, and/or restoration. And whereas the Walker County Historical Commission has so acknowledged the restoration and adaptive reuse of the 1883 Gibbs Wynne house to the Wynne Home Arts Center, and whereas the City Council of the City of Huntsville desires to support and participate in the continued preservation and enjoyment of this historic structure. Now therefore, be it hereby proclaimed by the power vested in me as the mayor of the City of Huntsville, Texas, that December the 2nd, 2009 be declared Wynne Home Restoration Day in our City of Huntsville and I call upon all our citizens to join in this celebration of the achievement and to acknowledge its special meaning to our community. Proclaimed and signed this second day of December, 2009.
Thank you, sir.
It being the season of exchanging gifts, I present this.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Scott Norbush, pastor of First Methodist Church, and I'm honored to be here to have a prayer of blessing upon this place. So would you please bow your heads and join with me for a moment of prayer. God, we indeed are grateful citizens of a city rich in history. Our history is not only rich because of the many characters that preceded us, but because of the generosity of people such as Samuela and Ruth Wynne, who blessed future generations by the gift of this home. God, we are people mindful of respecting our past, and for all those who have labored to preserve this historic home, we give thanks. And now, O God, we ask your blessings upon this place, a place of art and beauty, set in this community to bless and enrich the lives of future generations. So, indeed, O God, send your blessing upon this place. Bless all who enter in, all that happens here, that you indeed might be pleased with the love of this community. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
And now, as people who have gathered here to celebrate, go forth with grateful hearts and seek to bless those to whom love and blessing is a stranger. Amen.
Thank you.
They didn't tell you you were doing the benediction as well, Scott.
Well, that,
Thank you all for making. Kim McAuliffe has baked homemade cookies, and they're being served with warm drinks. And please sign the guest book before you go.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Spotlight. I'm your host, Brooke Bortz. And join us next week for the last edition of Spotlight before the Christmas break. See you then.